back by popular demand, Vintage Halloween. Keep watching. I'm Brandy, and this is Making It My Own DIYs. The first project is going to be a Halloween cone or a Tussie Mussy. We are going to start off with a couple of things. I've got some tulle that's black. I have some different types of trims in orange. You can see these were just Easter from Dollar Tree. I've got a variety of picks from Dollar Tree. These are like, I guess, cupcake picks. I have some thin tinsel, some ruffly lace trim, a little bit of plastic insects from Dollar Tree. I've got some floral pins, a foam, and this is just a cone, and then I have some fabric. So this cone is going to be about 9 inches long. You can use whatever size you want, and you will cut your beautiful fabric, which mine I got at the thrift store. You will cut that fabric to whatever size you need. All right, so to determine my sizing, I am going to take that cone, start in the corner of my fabric, and kind of roll this over, making sure that it will go over the end of the cone because that biggest part of the cone is going to be the top. I'm going to cut this off now that I know how much I'm going to need and save the rest of this beautiful fabric for some more projects. Now I'm going to start by putting the pretty side of the fabric down on the table, taking my floral pins. I'm going to twist a little bit and then I'll use those pins to help me hold everything tightly and in place. I don't want any wrinkles. I want this to be very smooth and elegant. So just keep twisting that cone and it will come to a point on the end and it will look like this. You're going to have some excess. I got my pattern lined up the way I like it for the front. The back doesn't really matter because it'll be against the wall or a door. I'm going to start by putting the pins in here. And these pins are going to help hold everything in place until we are ready to glue this down. Hot glue doesn't work so much on foam, so it works a little bit better to use pins until you can do fabric on fabric. And I hope that makes sense to you, just explaining it that way. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go in there since my pins are holding it in place for me, and I'll grab my hot glue and just start working up the cone until it is glued down all the way to the top. Just taking my time. And then you can use a spatula, you can use anything that you have, protect your fingers, and you can use that to press those pieces on top of one another. So I'm going to trim this top down. I really only need about 1 inch to overlap. Probably don't even need that much. I could go with less, but I don't want to take a chance of cutting it too short. Because you know I don't do a lot of measuring on my channel. We eyeball things, don't we? Yes, we do. All right. I'm an impatient crafter. I like to get it done. So, as I said, glue doesn't work so great in foam situations, especially this type of floral foam. But I'm just doing the best I can to get it laid down. I'm going to add some. If you use a cool temp, that's a better option. The glue seems to go through the plastic and it eats into the foam. And then the glue picks off of the foam. So we don't want that. We want everything to stay tightly in place. And with that said, I'm going to grab some more of these pins and I'll be securing the top. The glue is dry on the sides now. We can take those out. And we have the base of our beautiful cone. And this is the back. You can see where the seam is here. These are some little beaded necklaces that you can get from Dollar Tree or anywhere, really. These came out of a treat pack for Halloween last year. So I'm going to use these as my hanger. Now, you can do a hanger that goes across equally on both sides, rather like if you had a basket and you have the handle going across the center. But I like to hang mine from the doors, and to do it that way, I like to just put the hanger on the back. And that also will keep me from having to worry about the hanger hitting the items that I put on top, because this cone is going to be very full, very full. And I want to make sure I have plenty of hanger on there to get it secured to whatever, wall or door I want to put it on. All right, so I'm going to let that glue dry. I kind of put it under the pin and then put glue on top, and it's not going to come out now. Then I'm going to start decorating. This is the fun part, y'all. And I've made Tussie Mussies before a few times on my channel, But generally it's paper or tissue paper that, I would use for something like that. But this fabric was just screaming to me that this needed to be done with it. Very circusy, vintagey. I just love this. A little harlequin. Yes. So I'm going to grab some trims. I've got some of this black lace trim. I'm going to take some of the pom-pom trim and cut it down so that we can make almost like a collar on the top. We're going to decorate that top. Protect those fingers. And then we're going to glue those in place. And now that we're putting it on fabric, we can use the hot glue and we don't have to use the pins necessarily. So I'll take that trim and take that edge almost all the way to the top. Not completely, but almost. I want to be sure that it has plenty of grip onto the fabric that I have on the base of this cone. So we'll go all the way around here, putting down this beautiful black trim. Now this lacy looking trim came from the thrift store, and I got a huge wad of it, I guess. I don't know another word for it, but it was just all over the table at Goodwill, and I just kind of spooled it up around my hand. I knew I had to have it, and I've had it for a few years and use it in my vintage and in regular Halloween. I just love it. But you can find it, probably at any craft store, some type of a lace trim that you like to use. I like the fact that it is a trim that already curves because it goes around the cone really nicely. So I'm going to be layering here, and I'll put that little pom-pom garland all the way up to the edge where it overlaps on the lace and kind of seals off our edge. And then we're going to take some of the tinsel. I pulled this tinsel off of a pumpkin from Dollar Tree last year or the year before because I used the base for another project. If I can remember which project that was, I will try to put that in the description box so you can see it. But I have loads and loads of Halloween playlists and videos for you to watch if you want to watch more. And I will put something at the end of the video as well for you. Okay, so we're just going to go round and round and round until this is all over. The pins work best for this because it's hard to glue the tinsel down because the plasticky parts keep melting. But you do it whatever way is easiest for you. Now I'm going to take some more trim, and this happens to be the same width as the little pom-pom ribbon or trim, so I'm going to use this here, and it is in our orange colors and in black, and I like that. It's not an exact match, but that is not a concern of mine. All right, so I've got some stir sticks, and I have got a headband that is a cute little witch hat, and I thought, hey, we're going to use this. So you just pull the bottom little panel off and pull the headband part off. And y'all can get these little things just about anywhere. I know you can. I see them all the time. You could probably get them at Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to go around with the hot glue and seal my bottom back off. This is how it is going to look on the cone. I'm going to take a little leftover stick from some floral. This is just a little wire from florals that I had cut off. I'm going to take a slice in the middle, fill it up with some glue, and then put that in there and give it a couple of minutes to stiffen and dry. I'm putting it slightly off center so that it'll be a little bit crooked. I'm going to add a little spider ring. I cut the ring part off and I put that on the top. And I'll take my stir sticks, cut that at a slant on the bottom with my cutters. Now we're going to make some little signs to go down on the inside of the cone as well. I will link this. This is from Amazon. This is a big package of these prints in a bunch of different sizes. And I am going to be using them a lot. So if you like them, go and grab them, and we will be crafting these things together. But you can print anything off the computer that you have. You can use a Halloween card and cut pictures off. You can use magazine pieces, scrapbook paper, whatever you want to use for this. I thought these signs would be gorgeous in here, and I will let you decide if I achieved that. So I'm just going to put them on some foam board to make them thicker. And I use my glue stick, and the purple will fade when it is dry. It's just a school glue stick. And I'm going to cut the foam off and make these into little squares. All right, so now I can decide where we want to put the hat. I'm going to put it off the side here, just like this. And I am loving this already. I'm taking an acrylic marker, but you can use paint, whatever you want, and I'm just covering over the pick part of these little cuties so they kind of go into the background. That I have a bats and pumpkins. These are some little vintage looking pumpkins and a cupcake topper that I got at the thrift store. And I'm going to add those in. You know, with the vintage things, they have lots of little goodies going on in the top, and it just looks so festive and happy and exciting for Halloween. That's what I'm trying to achieve here. I added my little picks in, then I'm going to add the ghost in, and he's kind of sitting amongst the things, keeping in mind where the back is while I'm putting everything in. I'm going to add a little pumpkin here because he looks very vintage to me, and he could be. I found a bunch of these. And I'm going to glue the hat down just to kind of keep it to that side angle. I'll take another one of those stir sticks, cut it at a slant, and add it to the back. This is just a little pom-pom on a stick that I have here, and you can see the downward spiral that I have. It looks really cute to me, y'all. But now let's add the piece de resistance. We're going to take the picks off the bottom, and we're going to be using those in these little photos that we have. Now I'm only going to use 2 of these. I decided just to use 2. And I'm going to take the pokey side and push into that foam. If it comes out the back, don't worry about it. Just reposition it, but try not to destroy your picture when you do it. See, I'm going at a downward angle. We're going to do both of those that way. And then just for a little more interest and decoration, we're going to add trim to these. Protect those fingers, y'all, because we're going to be working really close to the edge with some really small, thin pieces. And you will burn yourself really quickly with this. So I'm trying to push this to the outer edge, and I did leave that white border so I would have a little something for this to cling to. Once I press this down, I'm going to take this cute little trim or ribbon, and I'm going to go all the way to the edge and then flip it over on itself like that, and using the wrong finger. Y'all see that, don't you? I do it all the time. I do it all the time. We're going to continue around, fold it, just fold it over on itself, and press it down into the glue. And this is going to give it a little trim for the top. We'll add a little pom-pom down here on the bottom, excuse my head. And I have just enough for 3 in that section to go across, and I'll cut it off. I love the look of this. It reminds me of those the little toys where you would twist them back and forth and it sounded like a drum. I love those. I might even make one of those for Halloween, y'all. I might do that. I'll take some of this trim, very gently push this down into there. I'm trying to pull it as far to the outside so it doesn't obscure our picture. And then I'm going to go around the sides with the trim here, all the way around until we have this cute little tinsel all the way around it. If there's any bare spots, just go in there and add another little piece. Not a big deal. Think of all the things you could use to trim out your pictures. So many options. So then I'll take those picks and place those down into the cone as well. I want to make sure that everything can be seen. So I'm looking at it from a bunch of different angles. And then I'm going to go right through the hat and into it right here with this picture. Love that. Love, love it. Okay, I am going to make a bow because you know that's what I do, right? So I'm going to take some of this tulle, and this came from Dollar Tree. I'm going to fold it over several times. And then the folds are going to be about 6 inches, it looks like. You don't have to be precise because this is just a little bow that we're going to make. I'm going to fold it over, I think, about 6 times. The more you put, the thicker the bow will be, and the more opaque it will be. If you use less folds, you'll be able to see through your fabric a bit more. But I like that it is, you can really see the spider webs on it. I like that. I'm going to scrunch this up with the folded edges to the outside. It is going to make a little bow like this. I'll take a little piece of ribbon that I have, and this is just some vintage sort of like velvet. Look at all that fallout, y'all. Ugh. Mr. Skeleton says he loves you. And thank you for watching our videos. We got so many good ideas this year. All right, I'm going to slice through the outside of the bow to make all these little pieces stand out independently. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Now, if you're worried about flat ends, you can always pull these out and fluff them out more, and you can take your scissors and cut into the outsides of them and kind of make them look a little more rough, if that makes sense to you. So now I'm just going to take that tool, I'm going to put it at an angle and add it right here on the, like the front side of this beautiful little cone. Press it right there. And I always like to take the opportunity to look at every bit of it closely to see if there are any more details that I want to add. And of course, I'm going to cut off some of these pom-poms and just put those right there on the corners of the ribbon trimmed picture. Absolutely love these pictures. They are vintage. I cannot say enough, and I'm going to be doing so many projects. You'll probably get sick of seeing them. Okay, so of course, we're going to make a little something extra. We're going to have a little bow tassel or something like that to go off the bottom. I am going to cut this tool into ribbons. How about that? I love it. I love the glitter on it. I'm going to add just a stack of ribbons here that I like. I'm going to add some of that tinsel to it as well. Y'all, please don't ever stop trying, and I always encourage you to make it your own. Okay, so I'm going to take those ribbons and I'm going to cut that little stack in half. You can always start off by cutting into smaller pieces if you want to, but this is about 6 or 7 inches. I'll grab those in the middle, and then I'll take some more of that ribbon and I'm going to tie that off. Feel free to use jute if you want to. I'm just trying to stick to more of what you would see in vintage Halloween, and it would have been the ribbon, I think. Okay, that beautiful velvet ribbon. Okay, so now I'm pulling this down, holding it tightly. Then I'm going to take another piece of ribbon and I'm going to tie this around about an inch from the top. We're going to make this into a tassel. So not a bow this time, but a tassel. I'm going to press it down in there, make sure everything's laying nice and flat, and then I'll tie it. I'll tie a double knot, and then I'll just wrap it back and forth around till I have just a tiny bit of ribbon left. That's going to lock it all in there and really give it that look of a tassel. Now I want to trim my ends so it's all even, and I'm going to cut about a ½ inch to an inch off the bottom because I know how big I want the tassel to be. Sometimes when you're making a tassel, you can't really gauge it until you get it in your hand. And I'm going to tie it here on the end. So the top of the cone is flat, right? And you have a little bit of excess of fabric that won't have any cone on it. It won't have any of that foam to support it. And that's where I wanted to put my tassel. And it ties on nicely there, and it looks like it was intended to be this way. Simple, simple. I'm just going to tie that on. You can tie it into a bow. You can tie it into double knots, trim it off. You can just leave that ribbon on there if you want to. Isn't that cute? Oh, I hope y'all love this as much as I do. I am absolutely adoring this cone. Yes, and you can do it. You can definitely do it. The icing on the cake is going to be one more pick right in the bottom. A little bat. Perfect. And there it is in its beautiful vintage glory. Y'all come and cruise with us. It's going to be February the 24th to the 29th, 2024. I'm going to have the information in the description box below. Next, we're making a treat box. We are going to start off with a little round box from Dollar Tree. We're going to need the top and the bottom for this project. We're going to take a variety of ribbons, whatever type you like. Got some Dollar Tree, got some thrifted, and we're going to take a variety of trims. Look at this yellow trim. We're going to take some white paint and a brush, and any panel of fabric that you like, and a vintage toy to go on top. Look at this little squeaker toy. I probably had this when I was a kid. And I'm also going to use some of my double stick tape. So we're going to start by painting this box white. We're going to paint it white because we want the white fabric that we're going to be putting on top of it to really pop against the white paint. And it will look a little bit darker, a little more dingy if we put it against the brown box. So just go over the top, the bottom, and let it dry. Next, we're going to lay our box down. We're going to cut out a strip of fabric that is enough to go over the sides all the way around and enough to tuck into the top. So you'll Put some glue on it. You're going to line your bottom up with the bottom edge of your fabric, and then you'll just go ahead and firmly roll this over until you get back to the starting point. Add some hot glue, and then glue that in place. No need to add glue anywhere else on there. That's going to hold it fine. I'm going to trim up my bottom because, you know, when you cut, you don't always cut a straight line. This fabric came from dirt cheap in a package of Amazon return stuff. So it's a package and it's got a whole bunch of different fabrics in it. You use whatever you can find, and I know Dollar Tree is probably going to have some fantastic pieces. I just thought this looked a little kind of like, you know, youthful and a little bit like vintage to me, or like what in my head what it would look like. Very fun, very simple and fun. So I'm going to go to the top of the box, and I just used the bottom of the box to hold the lid while I put the glue on here and put this in place. Once I get that pom-pom rim all the way around, it's going to look like this. Very cute. And then we're going to start layering just like we did the other one. But I'm going to be layering this beautiful purple ribbon right over the top. This glitter ribbon came from Dollar Tree. Love it. Then on top of that, we're going to add some trim, whatever type of trim you have. You could even take something off an old dress if you wanted to. This came from a friend who donated a bunch of craft supplies to me. Okay, so and then we're going to go to the bottom. We're going to let everything dry on the top while we work on the bottom. So this is the bottom edge, and we're going to trim this out with some more of that glittery ribbon. It's going to match and make everything look, you know, nice and look good together. Then I'll take some of this ribbon, and I'm going to go around it right in the middle. And then we're going to start on the top of the box. Now, this time we're only using glue. We can't use those floral pins. So this time you're going to want to use cool temp glue or some other type of glue, whatever you have, and start gluing this down. The difference is with cool temp glue, you can get, it dries fast. You'll have to add a little more time for your projects if you use any other type of a glue in a bottle maybe. So unless you use super glue, of course. All right, so I'm going to go around almost like a cinnamon roll. We're going to go round and round and round, getting smaller and smaller until we are on the inside. I'm going to leave an open spot on the inside for that double stick tape so that we can stick down that little dog. I'll then grab my nano tape, cut off a piece about the size of that little square down there that we have left, put that down slightly to the back, and the back is going to be where the seams meet, so keep that in mind. Keep all your seams in one area. And then he will stick down. Look at that. No damage so that he can be used in other projects if I wanted to. The easiest way to get the box together at this point is to push your pom-poms down and do it upside down. If you try to do it the other way, the pom-poms are going to try to go into the box and you won't be able to get the lid on. But it will fit. I got some pumpkins from Dollar Tree last year, and they are purple and glittery. So to bring that purple in that's in the fabric, and in some of our ribbon, I'm going to take some of those pick tops and just glue those down together, make a little stack there, and we're going to put it right to the side of the little dog. Hold it in place, and don't hesitate to let it sort of hang off the edge and spill over. You can certainly do that. I've seen that in a lot of projects. Just, you know, fill it up. Just fill it up to the top. I'll use a Dollar Tree witch hat to go on the side of the little dog. Look how cute so far, y'all. You could stop at that point if you wanted, but we're going to keep on because you know I'm going to keep on. You know this about me by now, right? I'm going to keep on. We're going to cut down some pieces of ribbon, and we're going to make a little embellishment for his hat. So take whatever colors you like, and I'm just going with the colors that coordinate with everything else going on in this project. And a piece of ribbon I'm going to tie around the middle. The ribbon pieces right now are at about 5 inches. I'm going to cut them down. I'm going to cut about an inch off of each side, so we have about 3 inches across. Fluff it out as much as you can, and then I'm going to glue it right on top of that hat. Look at her fancy hat. She's going to a Halloween party in that hat. Okay, so we got some little goodies that we can add here and there. I'm going to add this little bat, and it's actually a wooden sticker from Dollar Tree, but I'm going to use it for something else, just to make a little piece of decor. And we're going to give this cute little dog a collar. So I'll take that same trim. It is stretchy. I'm trying not to stretch it out though. And I'm going to tuck it here and there so that it looks as though it is going around her neck. I will glue it onto itself and onto the back of the box very simply, and then trim off any excess. The glue's not going to stick to that dog, so be sure you put it on the box. Ooh, look how precious. All right, so now I'm going to add a little orange spider right over here. I'll grab up some tulle and make a little puff for the top of her hat. We could do a pom-pom if you wanted to do a pom-pom up there, or you could leave it just like it is. But I've found with these vintage crafts, it's almost overdone to the point where some people, you know, they do call it tacky. Um, I just say it's busy because I like it. Tacky seems to have a very bad connotation, and I think that it's in the eye of the beholder, right? So I think that in this situation, tacky is called for. So I'm going to split the top of that little pom-pom thingy, and we're going to stick it right down on top of her hat. A little bit of hot glue. I'm going to do the same thing with this piece, only this is going to be a little backing, a little extra little puff on the side. This would have been really cute if I would have had orange or purple, but I didn't. I had black, so we're gonna go with it. There's plenty of black in this project to make it make sense. How cute is that? Can you imagine the things you could put down in that cute little box? What would you put in a little treat box like this? Candy? And next are a set of 4 box ornaments. Okay, so I've got some little jewelry boxes here. We're just take them apart. We're going to be using the lids for both. Here's a little quick measurement to give you an idea. And the bottoms for both. This is going to make 4 ornaments, y'all. We're going to take a variety of little miniatures that you can use in your project. We're going to use some trims, some laces, and we're going to go back to our stack of these pictures that I got. Look at these things, y'all. They are so good. It was really hard to choose which ones to use here. But I did, in the end, pick 4 that I thought would look nice. I'm just going to cut those off. And then I'll be trimming them down enough that they will fit right onto the inside of the boxes. I'm going to use that glue stick again to go all over the bottom and then place those pictures in. I'm not concerned about the white edge on here. You could cut it off if you wanted to, but I'm not concerned because I'm going to be covering that up. So press it down with your fingers and then grab something narrow that you can flatten it out with to make sure it's going to cling nicely to the glue. You don't want anything to peel out. And this little Cricut tool makes it easy. Cute! Here are the 4 boxes before they are embellished. I'm going to take a little bit of pom-pom trim for the first box. I'll be gluing it right on the sides so that it is hanging across the front. Almost making a little awning. So I want to know, do y'all do a Halloween tree? Have you ever done a Halloween tree? I'm considering doing one this year to put all the ornaments I'm making on. What do y'all think about that? Is that something that you would like to see? I would really like to do it if you want to see it. Okay, so we're going to go along, and I have some fur trim here. And I've had this since last year. And I'm going to add that in the bottom. I'm just smearing around that glue. I'm not putting a whole lot, but I'm smearing it around so I can glue it in there. I'll be adding a bat, and it's just a bat sticker. I have a little miniature cat ornament. I'm going to add her down there. We're going to make a hanger, and I'm just going to use a little bit of trim with a dot of glue right in the center sides of the box, give it enough to hang with. You can put it on a branch or whatever you want to put it on. You could leave it like this, or you can add a little more. And you know I'm going to add a little more. I'm going to add a little head, and this little skull came from a 2-pack, I think, of Dollar Tree necklaces. And you can see how these bones are still stuck together, and I'm going to use them as is. They fit perfectly across the top with a little hot glue. And that would complete this one. Really cute. Okay, so the next one, we're going to trim that out on the inside with some of that glittery orange ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'll place that down. And I'm trying to get it as close as I can to the picture in the inside of the box. Now, for those of you who do not have very good dexterity, or you have problems with your hands, or you have arthritis, or your vision is bad and you can't see down to do the detailed work like this, just use paint instead. Use paint or decoupage with some glitter. You can do those things. You can use a marker. However you want to embellish yours, make it your own. You do not have to do the little fussy stuff, you know? But that really does, in my opinion, make the project when it comes to vintage projects, is that all those little details. Okay, I'm going to press this down, and I'm just using the end of one of those stir sticks to push that down into the glue. And I have trimmed it out there. Now you can't see the back. This pumpkin is too wide, but because it's that soft moldable plastic, I can push the back in so that it will fit inside of the frame. Look! Ah! I love it. So then I am, yes, I'm going to take some little branches here, and these are just things I've had for a while, not sure where they came from. You can just use little pieces, little bits and bobs. If you have anything black or brown, whatever color that coordinates, I'm going to glue them to the sides of the box, put the pumpkin in, and add a little glittery eucalyptus. Look at that picture. A little pumpkin head and an owl. And we're going to add a hanger here. You can do the same type hanger to all your projects if you want. Okay, this one I am going to trim out with a little bit of that same furry looking trim. You could use tinsel here if that's what you have. I'll add some glue and then press this down in there. And we'll go all the way around the box and the bottom and then fluff it all out to make it stand out, look like nice and fluffy. Okay? So I've got just some satin ribbon here from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use that to trim out the inside of this box. You can really change these things up. You can use any type of ribbon you like. You can use any type of trim, and it's going to make your project look unique. It's going to make it look different than everybody else's. But that's what you want, right? Isn't that what brings you joy? Your own creations. So I've trimmed it out with some thin ribbon in the bottom part. I'm going to add some Mod Podge to this pick, this orange pick, with a paintbrush. And then I am going to douse it in glitter. I mean, why not? It's Halloween, right? So I'm going to take, this is just some fingernail glitter, actually. And I'm going to put it down in there in the front and pat it down there on the back. Tap a little more into the sides. You can take your finger and apply that on there if you want to. And this is how it's going to look. Let it dry. I'm going to cut it off with a pick. And we're going to use him for an ornament on here. Yes. So I'm just going to decide where I want to put it. And since the witch is off to that side, we're going to put him over here on this side. I think it's going to make it a little more balanced this way. And there's a ghost in the top holding a pumpkin. So we're going to put this little ghost on the bottom. I'm going to add a little top from a bat pick that I got at Dollar Tree. Because there's a bat in the picture, it's going to give it a little more dimension. And then we are going to make a hanger for this one. This hanger is going to be a little bit different. We're going to flip it over and do it on the back. Be sure if you use these ornaments where they can be seen from the back that you paint the back or cover them with some type of paper. Yes, I like it. Okay, so now we're going to use some scrapbook paper to trim the inside. I'm going to get my measurement for the inside of the box. I'm going to cut a strip, and look how pretty this is. Thanks again, Marcia, for the donation of all the paper pads. Love them. I'm going to press this on the inside of the box. I'm going to crease it a little bit with my fingernails when I get it in there. Just kind of push it into the corners. You can push it with a tool if you want to. This is just to kind of give me the inside frame of the box. So I know where to crease it. I'm going to pull it out and fold on all those creases to give me some good corners. I'm going to use double stick tape and put on each of the straight pieces and then place it back down inside of the box. I'm going to push it to the box. So I'm pressing that paper straight to the box. It's going to hold it in place. You can use hot glue here if you want to. Keeping in mind that with hot glue you risk burning yourself, so use your finger protectors. And then we're going to trim this out, and it's going to cover up where our paper frame meets the inside of the box. I'm going to use a little bit of vintage, this is like a velvety velour type ribbon, and I'm going to use it on the sides first, and then we're going to box it in on the top and the bottom. I'm going to use a little longer than I have to so I don't burn my fingers, and I'll be trimming off any excess. I'm going to take some regular glue. I want to give you lots of options here. And go in with that same ribbon trim and place this down. Now you have to allow dry time with these things too, so just keep that in mind. I'm going to do the top and the bottom, and then we'll use the same hanger as we had used before on the sides. Now I want to make a little, almost like an awning on the top with a beaded necklace. So I'm going to start in one corner. I've cut off a length of this. I'm going to press that down until the glue sets. I'll go to the other corner, press that one down, take the edge there, press that bead down. I'm sorry, I'm out of the camera there. And then I'll flip it over with a dot of glue right in the center, grab my little pick and push it up so it looks like it has, it's kind of strung across the top. And I love that. Then I'm going to make a bow. I'll grab a Dollar Tree ornament that is orange, and it is just some of those Halloween ornaments that they put out in the 12 packs. I'm going to use that almost like a pumpkin. I'm leaving the little hanger on the top because I just felt like I needed to add it there. And I'll add some hot glue and press this down. I'm going to smear around some glue on the bottom and add some of this stuff, like you put this stuff in packages, right? When you're making gifts and things. That's what this is, and you can find it at Dollar Tree in the gift section, or the gift wrap section rather. So I'm using this in black to make the bottom, and it's nestled down in there, and it is so cute and unique. So I'm going to add a little something extra, and for some reason I thought skull and crossbones. So I cut 2 of the little bones off, put them in an X in the corner, and then I cut one of the little skulls off, and I'm going to add it right in the top. And hey, the good thing about Halloween ornaments and decorations is if you get glue webs, fine. Leave them there because they look spooky, don't they? They look webby and spidery and spooky, and we can leave them. Now on the bottom, I decided to do almost like a little border. So I'm going to add a couple of little bones here, and then we'll put one more little skull down there. And I use the orange so that it will contrast with the black. Okay, we're going to go back to that witch and add a little something to her. I'm taking a little bit of this orange jute, I guess, because I didn't have a very thin orange ribbon. And where she had that little scarf or sash, I'm just going to make it a little bigger for dimension and add a rhinestone to it. Y'all look at these 4 ornaments. I hope that you try to make one of these 4 ornaments. I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel. If you've seen something that you enjoy, we're all about budget-friendly DIYs with a little uniqueness on this channel. I love Halloween. I love fall. I love the time of year when you can get out the oranges and the rich colors and the coziness, and I love vintage, and you're going to be seeing that all through the rest of this year. So I hope that you enjoy these projects that I have made today. I'd really love for you to give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. That helps me know what type of content that you want to watch so I can make more for you. Right now I have these ornaments just hung off of a regular little branch that I have, just so that you can see what they look like until I decide if we're going. As always, I encourage you to make it your own. If you don't like something that I did, that's totally fine. Change it up. Make it into something that you really enjoy and that you really like. We are almost to 50,000 subscribers, y'all. And there will be a giveaway for that. Plus, Subscriber Appreciation Month is coming in November. So be sure that you hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. You don't want to miss your chance. We have good giveaways here. I want to thank you very much for stopping by. Click the box here at the bottom for some more. Thanks for stopping by, y'all. Bye.